Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of Love Not Fear. I'm Jack Cox, author of Love Not Fear, and I'm with my gorgeous co-host Annie Day, who's written two scrumptious books.
Orgasmic Health and Your Guide to Feeling Fabulous Fast.
And Andrew's with us as well, who's written a brilliant book.
Come on, Andrew.
All you need is love. Oh, I've disappeared now. All you need is love. Love is all you need. Got lots of loving poems and articles about love, all the different kinds of love that there are. If you go to the Greek language, I think there's 7 different words for love. We've only got one in English, but it covers them, covers them all. And yeah, by all means, I'm sure Jack will put the link to the book on Amazon.
Yeah, the link to the book, all the books and all the other things we mentioned in the show will be in the show notes on the YouTube version of this video.
Yay!
Which will be live sometime tomorrow, because there's going to be some editing. I've got some slides to put up on it.
Ooh, I'm liking that, Jack Cox.
Hello, Kenneth, who's just joined us.
Hi, Kenneth.
Hello, how's everybody?
We're good.
Good,
Good.
good.
We're good. What's that song you were singing just now, Annie? We're feeling good.
Oh, my ringtone is Nina Simone, and I'm feeling good. Da 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 da. See, I want to be the backing group as well as the melody, basically.
Right, so it's the summer solstice, or it will be on Wednesday.
Yeah, got my crown on ready. I'm all ready to rock.
Yeah, it's the same one you wore last year, I remember.
I know.
I've tried to make
my
this
summer solstice crown.
We're going to try and make this a little bit different from last year's. We're not going to try and just repeat the same material.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's just a few days off the summer solstice, the longest day of the year and the shortest night. Known to the Druids as Alban Heffen, the light of summer.
Ooh.
This year, the summer solstice falls on Wednesday, the 21st of June at 3:57 p.m. here in Britain.
Yeah.
You know what time it falls in America, Kenneth?
No, I don't.
All right. The Northern Hemisphere is gifted with an abundance of data. By the way, if anybody wants to chip in, I mean, don't just let me rattle on. If you've got anything you want to contribute. And I'm rather hoping, and here's your cue to get them ready if you haven't got them ready already, Andrew, that Andrew might have some summer solstice poetry for us. Or have I dropped you in the deep end there?
I'll have to go and have a look.
All right.
We'll have a look in the coot book.
A look in the book. Right, so here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are gifted with an abundant daylight as the summer solstice arrives. This generous cosmic offering bathes the land in warmth and abundance. Our fields are flourishing. I shouldn't put things with F in, should I? Seeing as I'm here without my front off. I do find F difficult to pronounce.
Take them all out.
Our fields are flourishing. I did that quite well, actually.
Well, that was good, Jack.
Fruits are blossoming on the trees. Herb bushes are fragrant and full of life.
Okay.
The sun has impregnated Mother Earth and made her fertile, and life is in full swing.
Yeah.
So let's rejoice and give thanks for the bounty that arises from the sacred union of the Father, Son, and the Mother God.
Yeah.
Sorry, the sacred Son God and the Mother, I say God that all wrong, didn't I? And the Mother Goddess, yeah?
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, I know what I meant too. But it's not what I said.
Isn't telepathy wonderful?
This day is the longest light that carries a bittersweet tinge, for it signals the onset of a gradual return to darkness, with days shrinking and nights lengthening. Since ancient times, diverse cultures around the world have recognized the summer solstice as a pivotal moment to mark the sun's peak of power and the season's cycle of light and shadow. At the time of the spring equinox, which happened in March here in the Northern Hemisphere, we started to see life reawakening after a quiet winter. And we did a show about that at the time.
We sure did.
And it was
We are very accomplished, Jack Cox.
And it was a jolly good show, wasn't it, Annie?
It so was, me darling. Yeah, it so was.
We make a good team, you and me.
Definitely. It's good to be back as the A team.
So Annie and I talked that time about how the plants and flowers began to bloom as Mother Earth awakened, as the wheel of the year turned. And now we have arrived at the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. The word solstice is derived from the Latin word sol, which means sun, and sister, S-I-S-T-E-R-E, which means to stand still. Because twice a year, at the solstices, the sun's declaration appears to stand still in the sky for 3 days. And I will put a chart up about that on the recorded YouTube version.
Oh, you little angel, thank you.
This is the seasonal movement of the sun's daily path across the sky. It pauses at the northern or southern limit before it starts to reverse its direction. This is called, now what I'm going to say now is based on a globe model of the Earth.
Good comment, mate.
Those of you who believe in a flat Earth version, then that's fine.
Me.
Maybe you can come up with a similar explanation in a minute to explain it from a flat Earth point of view. But here's the explanation.
I've been researching flat Earth for 2 years now, so I'm not as, what shall I say? I'm not as interested in the heliocentric model as I am in the flat Earth stuff.
Right. Well, this is from the globe model perspective. As I said on this show before, we're not here to argue the case between the two different perspectives. The two different.
No, we're not
models.
here to evangelise. We're just here to give you great information so you can go off and do your own research. Between
the two different models of reality. Because as we said on the show before, the whole of the physical reality is just an illusion anyway.
Yeah.
The Earth isn't flat or globe. It's a mental construct. So, and you can imagine it any way you like. So I'm not going to get into an argument about it.
Okay.
But it's just easier to explain this from the globe perspective, which is the one I tend to.
We've all been conditioned that that's the shape, so.
It's the one I tend to prefer anyway. So if we take a look at a diagram of the Earth, and I'm going to put this up on the YouTube version. In its orbital path around the sun, we can see that there are 2 points of equinox. We have the spring equinox and the autumn equinox. Then we have the winter solstice for the northern hemisphere and the opposite for the southern hemisphere. So yeah, as we're beginning our summer here, the southern hemisphere, the people down in Australia and South Africa and all around there, they're starting their winter. I don't know how that's described, how that's explained from a flat Earth perspective, but I expect you'll tell us later, Annie.
No, I won't.
Okay.
No, I won't. No, I won't. People are very unkind to flat Earthers, I've discovered. And I know it's cognitive dissonance, so I'm not going there. I could do that in psychic attack for it, mate, really. So I have my own beautiful heart-held views about this, but no, I don't need to. I don't want to evangelise anybody. I just know what I know.
Well, I have deep respect for everybody, regardless of which model.
But not everybody's you, darling, strange.
At the time of the summer solstice, up at the poles, there's the midnight sun. Never gets dark. While down at the southern hemisphere, they have the polar night, where they never see light.
Yeah.
For months, they never see light. All the seasons are reversed depending on which hemisphere we are in. So as we take a look at the path of the sun through the sky, what we notice is that at the equinox, we have equal day and night. But at the summer solstice, we have the sun rising to its highest point in the sky, which gives us the longest day of the year. The opposite would be true of the winter solstice, when the sun is at its lowest point in the sky, and therefore we have the shortest days of the year. It's a rather good graphic, but I can't actually get it to work live.
Yeah, we've had this before, haven't we? Like when we did the sacred geometry and a couple of other times, we've had to do it afterwards, haven't we? So no, that's cool. That's all cool.
Yeah. So the sun rises in the east and sets in the west.
Yeah, for sure.
And what we're talking about is the zenith, the highest point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that changes throughout the year.
Yeah.
Our early ancestors spent more time outside than we do, and they used the sky both as a clock and a calendar.
Yeah.
They could easily see how the path across the sky changed over the course of the year, and these positions were recorded in different areas throughout the world.
Yeah.
It was a normal part of their daily life.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't have to go outside to look. You know, it was there all the time for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Also keep in mind that this happens because the Earth is on its tilt. It's tilted on its axis, an angle of 23.5 degrees, which causes the precession of the equinoxes.
Indeed.
Which we've talked about in other shows, haven't we?
We have indeed. We're very accomplished at telling people about lovely natural things, aren't we?
Yeah, we do a lot of different subjects on this show.
We do.
That's what makes it fun. And I have my perspective, and Annie has hers, and it makes a good show.
Yeah, it does. We've done everything from fairies to giants to unicorns, and what else have we done?
Panspermia.
Yeah.
And
inappropriate sex education in schools.
Yeah.
Atlantis.
And everything in between.
Andrew?
I was referring to Atlantis. That was particularly interesting.
Oh yeah, we did the Lost Lands, didn't we? Atlantis, Lemuria, and
what was the other? Samhain and Beltane.
We've done all the Celtic festivals, yeah. So we do a lot of, it's a wide range of different subjects, but it's always, it's nearly always positive and uplifting, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And we've covered all the great modalities that Annie does in her clinic.
Indeed, thank you.
A wonderful, wonderful clinic in Stafford called Heaven Sent Bliss.
Indeed.
And there'll be a link to that in the show notes as well.
Oh, you are a little angel. Thank you so much. One of the things that I was talking to my lovely friend Ziggy, you know, Gareth's been on our show a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he was saying on his darkest days, he plays keeping your vibration high with laughter medicine.
Brilliant.
And he said any time that he's having one of his darkest days, he'll just put that on, and just the fact that we're laughing about really silly dad jokes, the fact that he and I took 4 attempts to do the knock joke. Any day had the audacity to send me the recording of that for my birthday.
I did. You remind me of all the dad jokes.
I thought you needed cheering up, and I thought, you know what, listening to us laughing, it's like
Yeah.
really infectious, isn't it, Jack? I can't hear you laugh or giggle and not, you know, be joining in, and you're the same with me, aren't you, sir?
Yeah, yeah, we work well together. We set each other off.
We do.
Sometimes you set me off in hysterical laughter, and I can't stop for 10 minutes.
I know.
And I have to edit it out of the show for brevity.
So yeah, I thought that was a good idea, darling.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. You made it a lovely birthday. You and Chris, you and Chrissy, both of you made it a lovely birthday.
Oh, I'm so pleased, sweetheart. Everybody should have a good birthday.
Yeah. As the sun's light hits the earth is heated unevenly. So during the summer months in the northern hemisphere, we have more direct sunlight on that portion of the earth. But in the southern hemisphere, that light is spread out over a greater area, therefore cooling that portion of the earth. I'm sorry I keep saying earth, but I don't want to offend Annie by saying globe.
Darling, it doesn't make... Honestly, I'm not that easily offended. I'm not woke.
Good, good. Nor is I. That's the way they speak, isn't it?
Yes,
so
I love my beautiful femininity and being very, very sexy and beautiful and intelligent and binary.
That's what we love about you, Annie. So the reasons for the seasons is the axial tilt. If we look at other places in the solar system, Mars, for instance, has a similar axial tilt and also has seasons.
Yeah.
Different cultures around the world develop different mythologies to account for the changing seasons. And people have been celebrating the sun god at his height of power since ancient times. From the Stone Age to today, festivities have abounded with blazing bonfires, soulful songs, spirited dances, and lavish feasts. We like the lavish feasts.
Oh, absolutely. And the fires. I've got a thing about fire. I've got a thing about most elements, really, but fire and water are really close to my heart. I had a chimney on Saturday night, and then we threw there was 3 of my girlfriends came round. We threw all the sheepskin rugs out because there's no light bleed here, and then just gazed at the stars because it's just so beautiful, isn't it?
As some of you will know, I had the great pleasure and privilege last year of celebrating the summer solstice on Glastonbury Tor.
I know. I'm so envious, darling.
And I will probably be putting some of those pictures up on the YouTube version as well.
Oh, lovely, Jack. That'd be great. Oh, yeah, Glastonbury. I'm going in a couple of weeks.
Oh, great. But 2 weeks too late. You should have been up there for the solstice. It's brilliant.
I know. But I have to work at the moment. Although it doesn't ever feel like working what I do, it feels like I talk to people, I help them, or I teach them, and I'm paid very well for doing what I love. So sometimes my friends have said, why are you still working at 9:30 at night? And I've said, because it doesn't really feel like work, which is a good place to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going down to Glastonbury.
Yeah, when?
3rd of July.
Yeah, okay.
Well, when am I going?
When are you going?
Oh, that'd be good if I was there at the same time as you, Andrew.
Well, that's what I was thinking when you said 2 weeks. When are you going? I think
when am I going?
Might go down on early Monday. I mean, it would have been better to go for the solstice, but I'm working this week. I've got a colleague off on holiday, so I'm filling in for them. So I'm working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week.
Ah.
So but I've heard so much on this show about Glastonbury. I thought I've got to go soon.
You gotta go.
You gotta go,
you gotta
Andrew.
go, haven't you?
I'm not going till the 11th, 12th, and 13th of July, Andrew. So
Well, I'll let you know how it is when I come back. See if it's still there.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd like your recommendations where in Glastonbury I should be going on my pilgrimage.
Oh wow. We did a show on that, didn't we, Jack?
We have done a show on Glastonbury.
But yeah,
I
I
would
can
I'll
see
go and watch it
you.
again, but I mean, if you could send me some
Yeah,
sort of
I will do.
pointers where to go, yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
I will do. Yeah.
Charleswell Gardens, the tour. You've got to go to Rainbow's End for lunch. Rainbow's End Cafe is just beautiful. You'll love it there. But yeah, I'll tell you near the time.
Andrew, if you're not already a member, I'm not sure whether you are or not, my Facebook group, Friends of Healing Water Sanctuary, Glastonbury. I post almost daily on that about the things that are going on in Glastonbury and you know, different events and things. So if you join that, then you can see, you know, what's there while you're all there.
Lovely. But yeah, pity I'm not there when you are, Andrew. I'd be happy to be your guide.
I'm muted again. It would be lovely to have a guide, but I don't mind. I'll go and find my way around. I'm sure that the universe has things ready for me.
Yeah, you'll feel the energy there, and that's the most important thing.
So I have found a couple of poems. They're not directly Solstice poems, but maybe I could share them now, Jack.
Well, if you want to shoot one in, and then I'll
Okay.
carry on with this, and then maybe you can shoot another one in later.
Okay, so this one I wrote in on the 22nd of June 2019, so almost solstice. It's called Wild Creative Energy. Guess what the first the first word of my poem is?
Go on.
Love.
Oh, you
Love.
need
Da, da, da,
this
da.
love. La 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 la.
So wild creative energy. Love is within, peace is within. The answers are written, but so is something very special. Wild creative energy. To be fully present, take your eyes off the material, what you had, what you want, or the way things seem to be that isn't agreeable to you. It isn't the container we should see, not the social structures that hold our soul cages. We should focus on the wild creative energy within. We are explosive, unlimitless love. Love is a verb. That is why we have wild creative energy within. Release yours upon the world today and every day.
Wow, beautiful.
That's
Thank you,
lovely,
Andrew.
Yeah, no, that's really super. Yeah. Right, the sun god, known around the world throughout the ages by many different names.
Yeah.
Here's a few examples. In the Shinto tradition, they call the sun god Amaterasu. Excuse my pronunciation.
Easy for you to say.
In the Egyptian tradition, they have Ra or Aten.
Yeah.
The Greeks had Apollo, and in Celtic tradition, we have Lu.
Yeah.
The Celtic explanation. Let's have a look at the different explanations around the world. The different, just a few, just two or three different ways that it was described around the world. The Celtic explanation of the summer solstice, of the changing seasons, revolved around two brothers, the Oak King and the Holly King.
Yeah.
Who would fight over who would rule. At the winter solstice, the Oak King would defeat his brother to rule over the waxing year. And then at the summer solstice, the Holly King would prevail to rule over the waning year. The Greeks have their story of Demeter and Persephone. Demeter is a harvest goddess who has a kind and beautiful daughter called Persephone.
Yeah.
Persephone, like her mum, loved nature. And one day she was out walking in a beautiful meadow, gathering flowers to take home, when a huge hole opened up in the ground. Hades, the god of the underworld, arrived through the hole and captured her. He wanted the lovely Persephone to be his wife. But Demeter could no longer see her daughter, and she missed her hugely. And she was so sad that it affected the harvest, Demeter being the goddess of the harvest.
Yeah.
It affected the harvest. Crops, fruit, nature, everything stopped growing. So Demeter went to Zeus, the king of the gods, to ask him to intervene. Zeus saw how Demeter's sadness was affecting her, but not only her, but also the land. So he agreed to help. Meanwhile, Hades wanted to make sure that Persephone would never leave the underworld. So he gave her 6 pomegranate, I can't even say the word. We're missing tooth. Pomegranate seeds to eat. Zeus visited. I can't stop laughing now.
Good. That's what we've missed. Laughter medicine, baby.
I've got to get this tooth fixed. It's going to be 4 or 5 weeks before they can give me a new
rubbish,
tooth.
isn't it?
So we can't stop the shows for 4 or 5 weeks. So you just got to put up with me mispronouncing everything.
It's all right. I mispronounce them and I've got all my teeth in. So I think you're doing really well with one tooth and still managing to pronounce them.
So Zeus visited.
I love to call my co-host.
Zeus went to see. To ask him to. Oh, what am I like?
You are delightful, Jack. That's what you're like. Delightful.
Right, Zeus went to see Hades to ask him to let Persephone leave. But Hades refused, saying that she had to stay because she had eaten the seeds. Eventually, a compromise was reached, whereby, I'm sorry, once I start, I can't stop.
That's good. It's laughter medicine. Keeping our vibration high, Jack Cox.
It's just a very serious story and I can't stop laughing. No disrespect intended to the goddesses. Right, eventually a compromise was reached whereby Persephone could return to the surface for half the year. But as she had already eaten 6 pomegranate, 6 seeds, as she had already eaten 6 seeds, she had to return to the underworld for 6 months of the year. 1 month for every seed.
You're beautifully exemplifying what I said earlier, that we can't listen to each other and not laugh and not giggle. So we're just proving the point, basically.
So whenever Persephone was with Demeter on Earth, Demeter would be happy, and the crops and the fruit and nature would all grow and flourish beautifully.
Yeah.
But when Persephone went back to the underworld to live with Hades as his queen for 6 months, Demeter would be sad and everything would stop growing.
Yeah.
It's a lovely story if you can stop getting all the way through it.
It is a lovely story, but it needs a bit of a giggle in it. Needs a bit of a giggle when you've got Hades showing up.
But he wasn't a bad guy. I mean, you know, it's all been thrown out of proportion in recent centuries. But
Yes.
yeah, Hades was the place where the dead went to rest. It wasn't a bad place. He wasn't a bad guy. Right. The Greeks also celebrated the festival of Cronia, held in honor of the god Kronos, who presides over the cycle of seasons and the growth of crops. As the god of agriculture, Kronos embodies the cyclical nature of life and the earth's rhythms, making him a fitting deity to be honored during the summer solstice.
Yay!
Keeping the home fires burning. Vesta and the festival of Vestalia in June in ancient Rome. Yeah. The Romans had the festival of Vestalia as the goddess of the hearth, home, and family. Vesta was one of the most revered deities in Roman mythology. A temple located in the Roman Forum was one of the most important religious sites in the city. During the week-long festival of Vestalia, married women granted access to the temple, where they would offer prayers to Vesta. The goddess would bless their families and homes in exchange for their offerings. It was a time of purification, renewal, and a celebration of family and community.
And I think as well, Vesta is about the home fire, about keeping that fire in our homes, you know, bright and tended and everything. But the fire's really the passion of living in our homes, isn't it?
Oh, yes, yeah. Fire is about passion. Fire is the element of passion.
Yeah.
And action.
There's a lot of little flies that think they want to be on the show tonight. And a honeybee.
Oh, yeah, I've got them crawling around here as well, so it's the hot weather, it brings them out.
It is, and they think indoors is the same as outdoors, which clearly it isn't at the moment.
Right, the Norse people tell of Boulder, which is pronounced and spelt in various different ways. I'll put the link, put it all down in the show notes.
Okay.
Son of Odin and Frigg, who was killed on the summer solstice.
Yeah.
You know, the same as the Oak King being defeated at the summer solstice. It's the same theme. In June, Hindus honor the goddess Ganga. Annie and I both like that goddess.
I both do love that. The god Ganga, the god of plant magic. Yes.
Yeah, the goddess Ganga, for whom the holy Ganges River is named. They believe that those who die around the river reach the heavenly abode with all their sins washed away.
Yeah.
The month concludes with a celebration of Rath Yatra, when Hindus build a race of elaborate chariots in celebration of the summertime travels of the deities. Now, excuse my pronunciation here, please. Jagannath, Lord of the Universe, Balabhabdra, and Subhandra. I'm sure all our Indian viewers are now throwing bricks at me.
Going, ooh.
In China, yin and yang represent the balance and interdependence of opposite forces in the universe.
Yeah.
Yin is associated with the feminine, the earth, the darkness, while yang represents the masculine, the sky, and the light.
Yay.
Now, to me, this would appear to be a time when yin and yang were in perfect balance.
Yeah.
However, according to the Chinese, who see things differently, the summer solstice is a time of yin energy, because it's at its the earth receives the most sunlight and warmth from the sun.
Oh,
This
yeah.
made it a time to celebrate and honor the feminine aspects of nature, including the earth herself and women's nurturing and creative energy. It was a time for reflection and meditation, as well as for feasting and festivities.
Yay! I'm liking the feasting and festivities.
Absolutely, it's the bit we like. And the debauchery, don't forget the debauchery.
Oh, yeah, where would you be without debauchery? Blimey.
Sun worship took on a particular significance in ancient Egypt. The summer solstice aligns with the rise of the River Nile, coincides with the rise of the River Nile, the flooding of the Nile. The Egyptian sun god Ra is considered a creator of life and ruler of the sun, the sky, and kings. He's often depicted with a falcon's head and a sun disk.
Yeah.
The solstice also coincides with the coming of the star Sirius and the ancient Egyptian New Year, which was tied to the early flooding of the Nile, as I just said. The Nile's flooding was crucial for the ancient Egyptian food system, and they associated Sirius with the goddess Isis, who is also revered at this time.
Yeah, the sex magic of Isis, eh?
Absolutely gorgeous, yeah. Of course, when we talk of ancient Egypt and her customs, we need to bear in mind that what we consider to be ancient Egypt existed for an incredibly long period of time.
Yeah.
And many different ideas came and went during that time.
Yeah, for sure, darling.
Just to put it into perspective, the last pharaoh died in 30 BCE. That's far closer to our time than the first pharaoh, 3200 BCE.
Oh, for sure, yeah, yeah.
Give that a minute to sink in. Their history is longer than ours.
Yeah.
The time that their culture reigned is longer than the time since it died.
Yeah, absolutely, darling.
So different gods are worshipped in different ways at different places. Some were conflated together, while others diverged into multiple identities. There was no single ancient Egyptian religion, and it should come as no surprise for people who follow that today.
Yeah.
There's no single modern Egyptian religion either.
No.
For the ancient Egyptians, life was never certain. Food, water, and the next harvest were not guaranteed. The temple rituals ensured that the sacred order of Ma'at would be maintained and that civilization would continue.
Yeah, Ma'at's said to be the goddess that is responsible for fairness in every aspect of life, isn't she?
Goddess of justice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the 40 laws of Ma'at, if you actually look at them,
yeah,
could very well have been the basis for the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, absolutely. They're
10 of the 10 Commandments are in the 40.
Yeah, absolutely, darling. Yeah, for sure.
And don't forget, Moses came out of Egypt, so he would have known them.
Yeah, yeah.
Our modern lives are far less fragile. Technology keeps the elements at bay, and our most common problem is too much food, not too little. Yet we are not so different from our ancestors, and we still struggle to maintain balance in our work, with our families, in our country, and on the planet.
Yeah, for sure.
So at this time of year, the Babylonians observed 6 days of mourning Ishtar, goddess of fertility, love, and war, would mourn the annual death of her partner, Tammuz, the Mesopotamian god of plants and food. So again, that's a little bit like the Persephone story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very similar, isn't it? It's almost parallel to it, isn't it, really?
There are so many similarities between the different stories around the world.
Yeah.
Not just to do with the summer solstice, but to do with all the old traditions.
Yeah. And because they weren't written down, most of it was oral tradition, wasn't it?
We did a show once, didn't we, about Noah and the flood,
Yeah.
and how that tradition exists all over the world.
Oh, massively in every culture.
Gilgamesh.
Sorry?
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh, yeah, the epics of Gilgamesh. And I can't think of his name now. What was his name? Zoroaster or something. Was the Sumerian name for Noah.
Yeah.
But it's the same story.
Indeed.
So the solstice has long held a sacred place in the spiritual practices of many indigenous people, represented in time of profound significance and renewal. For the Sioux in North America, the solstice was marked by a ceremonial dance around a tree, adorned with symbolic colors, representing different aspects of nature and of the cosmos.
Yay.
The dance was, I don't know, it says it's in past tense, this, the notes I took it from. I don't know whether it's still ongoing or not.
Possibly.
I hope
It could be, couldn't
I hope
it? Yeah.
I do hope it is. The dance was or is a way of honoring the sacredness of the natural world and acknowledging the interconnectedness of all things.
Oh, for sure, darling. For sure.
The bighorn medicine wheel serves as a powerful symbol of spiritual connection for indigenous people in North America.
Yeah.
Believed to have been used prehistorically as an astronomical observatory and calendar.
Yeah.
The wheel is a physical representation of the cyclical nature of the universe and the interconnectedness of all things.
Yeah.
Its alignment with the solstice sunrise and sunset made it a particularly potent location for a yearly sun dance, representing a time of healing, renewal, and connection to the divine.
Yay!
Now, this is something I very much like to do a show on, what I'm going to say now. But I'd love to have the budget to actually go and visit these places and do a show from each one. But maybe that'll come later if we get some donations.
Come on, universe, bring us all this beautiful prosperity and abundance so we can do that.
But many Neolithic stone circles have been erected around the world.
Yep.
And many appear to have been built around the movement of the sun at the solstices.
Yeah.
I'd very much like to just go and visit all of them.
Yeah.
And do a show from all of them. Obviously not all on the same day.
No.
Need a helicopter for that, but
Well, while we're asking for all this prosperity and abundance, if you could give us a helicopter as well. I want a pilot. I don't know about
oh
you,
Lord, won't you send us a helicopter? Right, because
I don't know about you, but I don't have my pilot's license yet for a helicopter. And I suspect my lovely co-host doesn't either.
Well, maybe Andrew can get one and drive us around, fly us around.
Yeah, we want a helicopter and a pilot, really, ideally.
So there are no written accounts from that time.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to be definitive about their exact purpose. However, stones appear to be carefully positioned to align with the sun's movements, framing solar motion and summer and winter solstices.
Yeah.
Stonehenge has been shown to be aligned with the winter solstice. We've covered that before.
Yeah.
Stones which were placed at the axis of a particular solstice were even shaped with hammer stones to frame the sunrise for those standing in the center of the circle.
Yay!
Mysticism and magic are common themes of midsummer folklore across the world. Magic is at its strongest during the summer solstice, and indeed during the other great festivals.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't want to hog the whole show, Annie. So shall we ask Andrew if he kindly give us another poem?
Yeah.
Okay, so where's it gone now? Just disappeared again on me. This is one I wrote in 2000, 19th of June, and it's called The Coming Dawn.
Oh, nice.
The dark night nearly over, one laced with sadness, troubling, but joy comes in the morning, ends the emptiness within. When we meet with daybreak, then all night terrors drift away. All that pensive mood evaporates in the pure light of day. Thoughts ever changing, the prisoner finds release, like a friend gone for too long. With dawn, you find great peace. The birds, they are singing. The crescendo is now near. The coming dawn, so exciting. I'm so glad that Solstice here.
Yay!
Oh yeah!
Thank you, Andrew. That
Well
was
done,
awesome. Yes.
I got it in at the end, the Solstice, yeah.
Thank you.
Great, thank you for that. Thank you
Beautiful.
for that. If you can find any more, that would be lovely. So Annie, I'm sure you've got some stuff prepared for us.
I have, and we've done in the past, we've done a show on crop circles, and yesterday there was a new crop circle in Bishop's Trow in Wiltshire, and it looks like a Triscular, basically. I've just sent it to Jack on Telegram, but I thought I'd tell all us groovy people on Love Not Fear, because it's just beautiful. It really is beautiful.
We do love crop circles, don't we? We
and
do
the
love.
fact-
We
Oh,
did a whole.
so-
We did a whole show on crop circles.
we really did, didn't we? And just, but yeah, this one showed up on the 18th, which of course was yesterday, at Bishop's Trow in Wiltshire. So I thought I'd tell people about that, because it's really beautiful, really beautiful.
I'm just back from Wiltshire.
Yeah.
I was in Wiltshire a couple of weeks ago for 3 weeks. 3 glorious weeks.
Yeah, you had a lovely time, didn't you?
I did, and
Yeah, that's so good, isn't it?
I do like getting about.
No, it's good for you, Jack, to be having the company and doing what you love. Taking care of people's houses and pets is just brilliant, isn't it?
And being a natural born nomad all my life, it suits me perfectly.
Oh, absolutely, darling. This is
'Cause
the
I can never say-
ideal.
I never have been able to settle anywhere for very long. I had the awakening the other day that I've been in Stafford for 3 years.
Wow.
Wow, it's definitely time for a move.
Is that your time, 3 years, and then you find yourself having itchy feet again? Or
Oh, it varies.
my youngest son says that, oh, I've just got itchy feet, I've got to be somewhere else.
Yeah, it varies, but I think 6 years is the longest I've ever been anywhere.
Really?
Mm.
Oh.
Even when I lived in Spain, I was there for 17 years. I wasn't in the same place all the time.
Yeah.
I kept moving around every couple of years. Yeah,
You're a little nomad, aren't you?
I am.
And
All
you
right,
look
let's
like
see what
you've got your Egyptian top on tonight. It looks very kind of, I don't know, African, Egyptian, maybe.
I think more African, isn't it? But yeah.
No, it's good.
Right. Tell us about
Go
the summer
for it.
solstice.
So, Jack's already told you about how this solstice works. And It means that during one half of the year, the north side of the earth is tilted slightly toward the sun and the south is tilted away. For the other half of the year, the reverse is true. At that exact moment, the north, about 6 months later, the northern hemisphere has its winter solstice, while the southern hemisphere has its summer solstice, and we've referenced that in previous shows, haven't we?
We have, yeah. We did a very good show last year about the summer solstice.
We did.
But to be honest, I looked at it, I reviewed it before tonight, and we didn't actually talk that much about the solstice last year, did we? We went off on a tangent.
Yeah, that's so unlike us, Jack Cox. I can't imagine how that possibly happened, that anomaly.
We do tend to go off on tangents.
We do, but that's what makes us so entertaining and so watchable, I guess, isn't it? It really is.
Hold that thought, Annie.
Absolutely. So these key points in the year, along with the equinoxes, help to determine the seasons on Earth. So thinking about all the places on Earth that celebrate the solstice, it'd be very remiss of me if I didn't talk about Stonehenge, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah.
Stonehenge is one of the world's most famous prehistoric monuments, having been built around 26,000 BC, alongside the buildings of the pyramids of Egypt. No one is sure for certain why this particular spot was chosen. Some say it was a burial mound, don't they?
I would argue that at least the three pyramids at Gaza were a lot older than that.
Yeah. Oh, the historians aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't want us to know how long our beautiful Earth has been here.
In fact, did you just say the number 2,600?
Yeah, 2000.
Well, that is a number that's absolutely loved by archaeologists.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they seem to be fixated around that number, 2,600.
Yeah, they've got it.
If they don't know how old,
Graham Hancock will tell you that it's a lot older than that.
A lot, yeah.
I think they've all decided that's the measurement. We'll just say it was then, and then we'll list all these other things that happened then.
If they don't know what to say, they'll say, "Oh, 2,600."
Yeah, and they think that will make us be quiet. Clearly not.
Which is archaeology ease for we ain't got a clue, mate.
Yeah, that's it exactly. So English heritage tells us that at the time of construction, whilst woodland covered most of southern England, the site of Stonehenge was mainly clear. I'm not sure that's accurate either, but hey ho. Many communities have had their unique uses of the stones, plenty of them, recognising the areas having very spiritual significance, as archaeological finds have told us. For the majority of cultures, the summer solstice day involves enjoying sumptuous feasts, lighting bonfires, singing and dancing traditional songs, and reconnecting with nature. And sometimes this involves water ceremonies for purification as well. No other country does the summer solstice quite like the Swedes. I've discovered this. In Sweden, the day of celebration is known as Midsummer. It is most commonly celebrated in the Swedish countryside, in places such as Dalarna, Riksgränsen, and the country's second largest city, Gothenburg. It always makes me think of Batman when I say Gothenburg. It sounds like that.
While we're going down that sideline, there is I spent some time living in Leicestershire.
Yeah.
And there is actually a village near Loughborough called Gotham.
Oh, baby. It's where Batman lives, obviously, with his Batphone.
Although the locals insist on calling it Gotham because they don't want to be taken the piss out of.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
But it's spelt the same way.
So, Midsummer traditionally involves gathering with families and friends, raising and dancing around a maypole, decorating houses with greenery and enjoying delicious food and drink. The tradition is believed to have been celebrated as early as the 1500s and originated as a Celtic festival of fertility and of light defeating darkness, which we've talked quite a bit about Celtic traditions, haven't we?
We do. It's one of our favourite subjects, isn't it?
It is. Not that we're Celts, obviously. You couldn't tell that by our skin and hair colour.
No.
Nothing
But
like. We're not Celts, no. Of course we are.
I've always felt a very strong connection with the Celts.
Yeah, me too, darling.
From an early age, a strong spiritual connection. Yeah.
You just know, don't you, in your heart, that that's our tribe, our people, basically, isn't it? Where did I get to? Oh yes, so decorating houses with greenery is also done. Enjoying delicious food and drink, we like that. The tradition is believed to have been celebrated as early as the 1500s and originated as a Celtic festival of fertility and of light defeating darkness. Midsummer also occupies a special place in the Finnish calendar, which again, until I was doing the research for this, I didn't know this. The festivities are referred to as Juhannus or Ukko's celebration in honour of Ukko, the god of the sun and sky, weather, harvest and thunder in Finnish mythology. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
It would do, yeah.
In the Nordic country, the burning of huge bonfires on the eve of midsummer has long been a solstice ritual. It is said to keep evil, negative spirits away and ensures a good harvest. Traditionally, the bonfires are burnt at lakesides, riversides, or on the beaches by the sea. That would make sense, wouldn't it, with the element of fire and water as well?
Yeah.
So each year, thousands of yoga enthusiasts from across the globe flock to Times Square in New York City to celebrate the summer solstice with free yoga classes all day. The annual yoga festival is known as Solstice in Times Square, Mind Over Madness Yoga. Thought that was quite cool. So yeah, that was launched in 2003 and was designed to keep urban dwellers centered, focused and present. Mayan descendants pray during a ceremony in honor of the summer solstice at the archaeological site of Tazumul in Chalchupa in El Salvador. Louis Romero. When I was typing this, I was like, oh my gosh, how do you pronounce this? Romero AP modern day Mayans in El Salvador celebrate the summer solstice by congregating at the ancient Mayan site of Tazumul in the northwest of the country. The Mayan descendants hold solstice ceremonies to help balance the energies of Mother Earth and to ask for abundant crops. In El Salvador, the June solstice is referred to as the winter solstice because it comes during the rainy season, which they consider to be their winter. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Each year along the shores of Lake Titicaca on the Isle de Sol in Bolivia, thousands of Quechua indigenous people gather for unique summer solstice celebrations and ceremonies.
Now, excuse my very poor geography, but I think they are actually in the southern hemisphere there, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're south of the equator.
Yeah.
It's south of Ecuador, isn't it?
Possibly.
The equator runs.
The woman has a very unique sense of direction, darling, so you're probably asking for me first. When I
we love your sense of direction. We never know where we're going
get lost in a restaurant or You know, I go to a hotel to meet people, go off to the loo, and then I come back and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know where I'm supposed to be. So yes, I think I will bow to your greater knowledge and acquisition of where you're going, basically. So.
We've got no chance then, have we? I will check it, but I'm sure that's south of the equator.
Yeah. So for their unique summer solstice ceremonies and partying, the celebrations include musical performances featuring drums and wind instruments, native dances and rituals to honor Pachamama, Mother Earth. I love that they call her Pachamama. That just feels like the right word for her, doesn't it? Yeah. As the first rays of sunlight appear, members of the indigenous community raise their hands, a gesture which symbolises the taking in of good energy. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Oh, I like it. It feels good. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
It feels good.
It does, definitely.
Go on, everybody.
Right, just do.
Well done.
Ecuador straddles the equator. The north
I know,
part
but
of
where's
Ecuador.
El Salvador? Where's El Salvador?
What? El Salvador.
Where's El Salvador?
No, you're asking. I'll find that one out.
Now we've started something. What is my hair doing? The fairies are entangling my hair.
Ecuador is Spanish for the equator, so that's why they call it that.
Ah, we see it. Well now. Celebrating the arrival of summer is one of the largest annual festivals in Spain, which we know about. The night of San Juan, also referred to as the bonfires of San Juan.
That's right, bonfires on the beaches and
lovely, isn't it?
You usually held on the 23rd.
Yeah, that's what it says here as well, lovely. It's another solstice tradition based around fires and water, because quite often they do it on the beaches, and it's held on the eve of the 23rd of June, as Jack so rightly said. Legend has it that the bonfires burnt on the night help cure skin diseases and purify body, mind, and spirit. That sounds like a good intention, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Traditions vary all over Spain, but fire jumping is fairly commonplace.
Yeah.
I like fire jumping. It's
I've burnt my bum a few times doing that, yeah.
Same.
El Salvador is located above the equator, northern latitude 13.7942 degrees.
Okay, thank you.
Our beautiful researcher.
Thank you, Andrew. So it's in the northern hemisphere, and I was wrong. I told you shouldn't believe me.
And I said, well, I've got no sense of direction, so I can't help you with this. No, I have got a sense of direction. It's just very unusual, basically. Traditions vary all over Spain, but fire jumping is commonplace. The hair raising or singeing activity is believed to bring good luck for the rest of the year, providing you don't burn yourself too badly.
Clearly. You don't burn your bum, yeah.
With people commonly jumping at least 3 times over a bonfire. So if it didn't get you the first 2 times, it will get you on that last one for sure.
Yeah.
That's how it works, isn't it? Water also plays a very important role in San Juan rituals. According to tradition, people take a plunge into the ocean at midnight in order to wash away any evil or negative spirits. I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it too, yeah.
And it does work. As soon as you immerse your body in the very cold water, because it is at midnight, isn't it? Literally, you just feel really positive. It's just really beautiful water medicine, isn't it? Or hydro medicine.
And if you're going in the sea, then of course it's salt water, so the salt also cleanses.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, definitely good. In Eastern Slavic cultures such as Belarus and Ukraine, the summer solstice is celebrated on Ivan Cupola Day. Ivan Cupola Day is traditionally a Celtic holiday involving the making of flower wreaths, headdresses.
Yes, we've seen your headdress, Annie.
So I must be Slavic today, apparently.
Could be. That does look Slavic, actually, doesn't it?
It could be Slavic, couldn't it, really? But yeah, they make headdresses out of flowers and they make garlands as well. And what else do? They collect herbs, jump over fires and bathe in rivers. The Eastern European celebration also gives lovers the opportunity to learn of their romantic fate. Woo-woo. Young couples hold hands and leap over the fires. If they do not separate their hands when they jump, it means they are destined to be together. So it's a good, what should I say, a ritual of trust, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely.
If you let go of my hand,
That's it.
I might be singeing.
That's it, we're finished. We're finished. Bye-bye.
So yeah, it's customary for young women to wear floral wreaths during the celebrations and headdresses, a symbol of purity and the blooming of a potential relationship. I don't know about purity in my case.
Too much information, Annie.
Absolutely. Both of my children were virgin births, clearly, Jack. Don't know anything about sex at all. Nothing. The wreaths that the women make are later set sail down a river or a lake to honour the water element again. Jani takes place in Latvia each year a little bit later than usual on June the 24th to commemorate the beautiful summer solstice. Many Latvians leave the cities for the countryside to celebrate what is counted as one of the most important Latvian holidays. Mountain fires, Tyrrell Mountains are all part of what they are honouring. Every year on June the 18th, to celebrate the summer solstice, the Tyroleans put on an amazing spectacle for all to see, a tradition that goes back to the Middle Ages. On that day, Latvians partake in rituals representing reincarnation, rebirth, and new life, involving lots of fire and water. We like lots of fire and water, don't we?
Yeah.
For beautiful reasons, summer solstice traditions also include rituals to help release old, negative, dark energy. So it's a great time to consider the grand scope of your life and the spiritual path that you are on. It's also a great idea to focus or meditate upon the light to create more love and abundance in your life. As you do so, note what is in and out of alignment. Again, it's a great time, the day before the solstice, to do decluttering and space clearing, Jack. And we've done a program on that too, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
So you can be the bright, shining star you were born to be and cast this light upon the earth and on everyone you meet. May you reap an abundant inner and outer harvest this summer. And then there is a sacred geometry template affirmation to start our summer solstices in. I am the light, I am the starlight on the darkest night. I am the light of the never setting sun. I am the light that comes from the one.
Again?
Okay. I am the light, I am the starlight on the darkest night. I am the light of the never setting sun. I am the light that comes from the one. I'll do it 3 times because that's a really lovely spiritual number. I am the light, I am the starlight on the darkest night. I am the light of the never setting sun. I am the light that comes from the one. Just lovely, isn't it?
Beautiful, Annie. That's all.
I've got Juliet and Jiva's book.
Right, what we got there?
So this is the template ceremonies
Oh yeah,
by
yeah,
Juliet and Jiva Carter.
yeah. We've
So
mentioned
that's
those
where I
before.
had that from. And then, because I went looking for my dragon card, what I thought might be good, Jack, but if we're running out of time, I won't. But I thought we
No,
could
we got time.
I thought we could do some dragon cards, but as I've loaned them all out, that's not meant to be. But I've got Masaru Emoto's Water Crystal Oracle.
Okay, yeah.
I thought we could choose I don't know, 3 cards, 7 cards,
Yeah,
and just see what the message is. What do you think?
three cards. Let's draw 3 cards.
Okay. Oh, perfect. The first one, Jack, is love and thanks. How beautiful is that?
That is lovely.
Beautiful, isn't it? I'll put it nearer to. Oh no, I've taken it completely off now. Gorgeous, isn't it? And then obviously it says on the back of it, love and thanks. That's what we're all about, isn't it?
Yeah. Are these Dr. Emoto's own pictures?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is that's his pack of cards, and I've got the book, and I've got all sorts of lovely things because yeah, I love the hidden messages in water. It's just lovely, isn't it? And then what we got now?
Well, we think that we're between 60 and 80% water.
Yeah. So anything that's water's got to resonate.
Anything that's water affects us.
Yeah.
Whatever we do to water,
Yeah,
we're doing to ourselves.
yeah, for sure, darling.
And if we can affect water by giving it these intentions,
Yeah,
and change the crystalline structure of the water, which
Yeah.
Dr. Emoto has proved,
yeah. We can
we
change it in
do it
us.
to ourselves.
Yeah, because we're made up of 80% water. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Now, I mean, whenever I drink a glass of water, I hold it in my hands first and I give it a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just such an easy thing to do, but it makes a really significant difference, doesn't it? So next one, just think of this beauty.
Can you hold it a bit closer?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And it's called, this card is Wisdom and Compassion.
Mm-hmm.
Very significant, isn't it? Right, last one. Come on, what do you want to show us? Oh, okay. This one, Jack. I like that one.
Oh, gorgeous. Yeah. What's that one?
Happiness.
Happiness. Yeah.
So I just thought that'd be nice too, because we're talking a lot about water ceremonies and fire ceremonies. I thought that might be quite good. So yeah, that's just a beauty, isn't it?
That is gorgeous. Yeah.
So beautiful. So thank you, Dr. Masaru Emoto, for coming up with this system that is so important to us. And thank you for the lovely person that gifted me with these cards many, many moons ago. And when I bought these, because I know you're going to love them because you're a mermaid and this is going to be scrummy and lovely. So I've got Dr. Masaru Emoto's Water Crystal Oracle and his book, The Hidden Messages in Water. For anybody who's not read it previously, get yourself a copy. It's just absolutely extraordinary what music can do to water.
Yeah.
You know, what prayer can do for water, what positive intention can do. And yeah, just lovely.
Maybe we can do a show.
That's all I've got for tonight, Mr. Jack Cox.
So maybe we can do a show on that in the near future.
I'd love to, Jack.
Yeah, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
I'd love to. Yeah, I would. Yeah. It's just, yeah, just lovely, beautiful stuff, isn't it?
So, anybody got anything else they'd like to contribute? Andrew?
Well, as usual, I'm going to big up the show because I have to every time I take notes, so you can't probably see that, but I do. I always take copious notes of what's being said because that's the way. That's my learning mode. When I'm writing, you feel it in your hand, you see it with your eyes, and you hear it because you're talking about it with your ears. So it's a triple input of the information here. But as promised, not the same as last time, which was extremely good on the summer solstice. But I am really, as I always say, but I can't not say it again tonight, blessed by the information that's shared here. I feel that in the time, it's probably over a year now that I've been attending the Zoom here on a Monday night, my consciousness has expanded, that I understand things in a much clearer way, not just my little view of the world that I was brought up with, but I'm seeing all these other cultures, I'm seeing all these other spiritual, for me, that's what I'm looking for, the spiritual ideologies that go behind why, and seeing the similarity. You know, we were talking about Gilgamesh and Noah and all the different ways that human beings express the spirituality. And when you take all the language away, the thrust of what's being said is the same. And this show, Jack's show, with of course Annie's contributions each week, just
it's Annie's show too.
It's well, you were doing the show before Annie came around.
Absolutely.
So it's originally a Jack Cox idea, and I have watched some of the earlier shows without Annie, and they were good, but they weren't this good.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. Annie's brought a whole new life to this show.
Oh, thank you,
I'm so honoured that Annie's agreed to join us. It's made the last year that she's been on the show absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thank you. And it is a year.
Yeah.
Because I started June last year, didn't I? So actually,
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was June, but it wasn't the solstice. I was talking about the PHA, wasn't I, and all that groovy.
Yeah. We did 2 shows, I think, before that. So you started at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
But you were definitely on the last summer solstice show.
Oh, for sure. Be rude not to be, really, wouldn't it?
It would be, wouldn't it? And we were talking a lot about Glastonbury then too, weren't we? We do love Glastonbury.
Oh, I'd encouraged two of my patients to go to Glastonbury just because I'm always talking about it. Yeah. And all my products are made from Glastonbury Chalice Well garden water. So there's a sign up there all the time saying, you know, this is made of Glastonbury Chalice Well garden water, organic essential oils, and I make all the essences that go into it. So they went this weekend and they bought me back a bottle of Glastonbury Chalice Well garden water.
Wonderful.
But they've sent me loads of photos going, I know you've seen this loads of times before, but that lion and the Chalice Well gardens and this and I love the fact that they were so excited about that, you know. She said, come on, where would you go? I said, you've got to go to Chalice Well Gardens. You've just got to go there. It's just got to be done, hasn't it? And they, like us, because the weather's been quite hot as well, they fell asleep in the gardens until it was thundering and lightning.
Oh, I've done that. Yeah, I've done that. It's such a healing place to be.
Oh, it so is, Jack. You can feel the vibrations. Andrew's going to love it.
You're going to love it.
I've only been once, and I just drove through. I looked up at the hill, and I thought, I'm glad I'm not climbing that today. And the only reason that we didn't stop was, I think we were on the way home from the southwest, from Cornwall, and it just seemed we wanted to break the journey, but we wanted to get a little bit further before we stopped. Otherwise, we'd have probably been there for the rest of the day and never come home.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't do. Yeah, no, you'd have stuck there.
I always find it hard to come home afterwards. I always find it hard. But then I do always bring water back with me, don't I? So I've got that memento of the energy of Glastonbury. But you'll love it, Andrew, for sure.
Have you been there, Karen?
No, I have. Oh, sorry. I thought you said Karen.
No, I did say Karen, but
go on, Kenneth.
Sorry.
No, I've never been, and for the first time, I actually do fancy going. Most of my friends have been. I've never been.
Oh, you'll love it.
Yeah, I think a trip. Yeah, either this year or next year. I think.
Yeah.
Wait till the madness of the festival's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's shortly, isn't it? Isn't it within the next couple of weeks?
It's this weekend, I think.
I've been to
Oh.
Glastonbury Festival, but I've never been to Stonehenge. I went to the festival in the 90s, but I can't remember much of it. I took to my.
Or actually, from tonight. No, from the midnight on the summer solstice, maybe I'm going to be really responsible and sensible. That'll last for a whole half a second, maybe.
Yeah, believe it when I see it, Annie. So, Kenneth, you were going to say something.
No, I wasn't. I didn't. I thought you said Kenneth instead of Karen.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Yeah.
We need to take
Right.
you to Glastonbury, Kenny.
Have you ever been to
Yes,
England,
yes.
Kenneth?
No, I
Yeah.
have not been to the UK. No, I have not. It's on my list, definitely.
Okay. Well, when you come over, look us up and we'll take you to Glastonbury tour.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
thank you.
Absolutely. Right, I think we ought to wrap it up
Okay, me darling.
for tonight. So thank you all for coming. Kenneth,
And thank you.
Karen,
Thank
Andrew,
you.
and my wonderful co-host,
Thank
Annie
you
Day,
both.
without whom none of this would be possible.
Oh, and thank you,
Huge-
Jack Cox,
Huge
for
gratitude.
being my lovely co-host, and also for being big and brave tonight when you didn't really want to do it.
No, I didn't want to, no,
But
but
all
you got
the
to it.
editing and funky IT stuff that you do that I don't help you with at all.
Yeah, well. Right, if you're watching this on YouTube, may I please ask you to like and share and subscribe,
Definitely
because
subscribe,
it helps us to reach more people.
Yay!
We really need to reach more people with
Yeah.
our message of love and optimism and unity. Yeah. So
And
please
downright
do.
naughtiness.
And downright naughtiness, as Annie says. So please do like, subscribe, and share. Okay. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Thank you.